And we are still talking about football and the woes that are facing the teams, especially the communal teams. I see your tweets and they're coming in, very many of them. I'll be able to read out some of them in just one moment. But we're still talking about the football crisis and, if you like, whether or not the caretaker committee can save the community clubs or whether the community clubs are facing imminent death. The simple verdict here was yes, they are facing death because there's no sponsorship coming to it. Tobias Ochola Juakali is our guest, and he's a coach as well. You have been a coach for over 20 years now? 10 years now at KU?
Almost 20.
Almost 20 years, 18 years. Yes. And I'm assuming that in your team you have a budget.
Yes.
Who funds the budget and how do you run the budget?
The budget is funded by the university because it is part of the management structure of the university. And we have our budgets every financial year because we are a government institution. So whatever budget we are making must align itself with the budget from Parliament.
Yes.
Yes.
That's exactly what you're saying, that the teams that are surviving are being supported by the government.
Exactly, yes. But now you look at, from my point of view, where we are now, the clubs we are talking about. We can go out and look for loans, even from the government.
Who will give you loans without a collateral?
No. There's what we call Sports fund. You can write a proposal. Yes. Then you give it out. Then if it makes sense, then you will get what you want.
Gor Mahia FC Leopards do not need to write a proposal. They are already in the Premier League. I mean, can the sports fund just be used then to fund these clubs that are already in the Premier League?
But then how do they get how do they recoup the return? Yes. Yeah, because there must be.
And you've got to explain it to, okay, so now you're giving them money, it's for how long, and why just those ones? Why not give, like he's saying, why not give the other teams, your corporate teams that are from parastatals as well? It becomes a very tricky situation, what to do. How do you decide who gets what? And again, I go back to the question we asked. Look, can our community clubs find a way of satisfying the few corporates that come their way? Can they find a way of attracting them again?
You know, James, I think we need to be realistic here. What we are ascribing are prescriptions to what is not the disease, or to a much bigger disease that it cannot sort out at the moment. Let's start from now, right now. Okay, the clubs don't have money, so we can't say they package their product now and sell it and get money for now. The clubs don't have money now. What would be the easiest solution now?
Maybe reach out to their fans.
Yes,
Kogalo has a huge following.
Because the league is already ongoing.
Maybe reach out to your fans again. Rally your fans. Ask them to push you. Not that it's not been done before. We've had pay bills on. We used to have the pay bill derby. You remember a few years ago, because the Scoreboard and AFC both have pay bill numbers on their chest. So maybe rally your fans again. Maybe push them to buy your merchandise. Maybe push them to contribute. We do Harambes once again. I don't know.
Is it COVID as well that has affected everything? Because fans are no longer back at the stadium, so you can't wait for you can't bank on the gate collections.
So Bernard, I believe in the past, say in the 90s, the 80s, the early 2000s, clubs used to get most of their money from gate collections.
That's no longer
okay. Yes, I know.
With COVID,
I know. Now, at that time, I remember the government donated a plot to AFC Leopards, a plot to Gor Mahia, which they were to develop. A few years later, someone came along and bought each team a bus. And that's the bus that they used to, when they are going to Western, when they are going to Mombasa to play Bandari, they used to use those buses. They were almost self-sustaining. Now, we need to go back to the basics. So one, we need to see how to attract the fans back to the stadiums. And then two, we need to appeal to the communities. I like what James has said. James said the issues we have is leadership. Leadership is not geared towards improving the club. It is geared towards improving, as a leader, my goal, my vision, which in most cases we have seen, gentlemen, is political. If you have genuine leaders, then they can spread this. Selling merchandise, for example. have quality merchandise.
Ken, we are running the risk of repeating what you have already said. Let's talk about these plots you're talking about. Those plots, we know the contentious issues that there are on those plots. Even up to last year, I think they were still trying to find the titles for that. So you can't even use them as collateral at the moment. Is that true?
Yes.
Even up to last year. So we don't have titles for that. This was something that was given verbally. In those days. In those days, pronouncements were made. And they might not have been followed. So let's look for a solution for now. Not a solution that is far-fetched.
Can we get fans back to the stadium? If we get them, just how many fans are coming back to the stadium? Because like you're saying, we're looking for immediate solutions. So
Can they get money from this
That's what
fund? Because fans
maybe
to come
you
back,
can.
even you as a fan might still have inhibitions about going to the stadium. Is there a way the clubs can be cushioned? What would be your appeal if you wanted the clubs to be cushioned for now until they become self-sustaining?
I think one club should work as one unit.
All clubs, you mean?
One unit, yes.
Okay.
They need to have a leader that speaks on behalf of all the 18 clubs. Then they do their proposal and present it for all clubs. If they need money from sports fund, this is the document. This is the proportion of each club, whatever, and then it is presented. Two, the clubs we are seriously talking about are going down. For me, they can be saved if we are truthful with ourselves. If we are truthful.
We as who now? As
the leaders.
the leaders.
Yes.
You think they're not being truthful?
What I mean by being truthful is, see, I'm a Luo.
Yes.
So, how many MPs do we have in Nyanza? How many CSS do we have in Nyanza? Or in whatever group that supports Gor Mahia? You get? Then,
it's a short-term solution.
Yes. Then, what you can do,
Harambee.
you can, not even Harambee as such, you can do just like, you create a group where people pull in money, then you start like society, where you say 20 MPs from Nyanza, we say every end month, each MP from the salary you give 10,000. Then you have a base. No, we want to get a solution. Then you have a base.
Yes, but you're counting on a lot of goodwill.
Exactly. But even taking the funds back to the stadium will also depend on goodwill, because what am I going to see in that stadium? Because the quality is not there. I better go to a bar and watch Manu and Arsenal instead of going to Nyayo to see Gor Mahia and City Stars. In fact, those are the factors. And then the planning of the games. There are games that are put in our stadia when teams are playing in Europe. So if I'm a Man U fan or an Arsenal fan, my team is playing Liverpool at 4, then in Nyayo, there's Tusker and Gor Mahia. Yes.
Your team is Gor or Tusker. Why can't you watch Gor instead?
Because of the quality,
yes.
I look at the game that is being played in the TV. That is how.
I think we're having multiple problems, and we're talking about a patient who was.
James, if you can remember, there was when, I think before Mwendwa, Nyamoya's time, there were arguments that when we are programming our games, it's either before the games in Europe or after.
That is actually where the 3 o'clock kickoff in KPL came about.
So such things. Then now, all of a sudden.
But there's something you've said here that may probably also usher us into talking about something else. You talked about the KPL clubs talking as one. Are you talking about a Kenyan Premier League, a company that can talk on behalf of all the other clubs? Are you talking about the federation? Because the federation essentially is the one that runs the affairs of football in the country. So are you talking about clubs making, a unit that can be able to negotiate on their behalf, or what are you talking about there?
World over, it is not their federations that run the league. They have a company, a private company that runs the league. Go to England. FA is not the bona fide body running the league in England. It is a group. It is a company that runs the league on behalf of. That is what KPL was doing for FKF. So then interests came about. So, you see, there's no goodwill. This is where we are. This is where we are.
So we have to start with the goodwill, gentlemen. What do we have to start with?
Yes, if KPL is running, give KPL the mandate to run the league on your behalf.
Okay.
Because you cannot be a judge and advocate at the same time. So if there's a problem...
And the witness.
Let's start at the beginning. So we previously were saying that the KFF should be disbanded. It was disbanded, and the caretaker committee took over. Now, the caretaker committee has got the responsibility of even handling elections. But now we are talking about the clubs themselves not doing well. So after the caretaker committee, what's the caretaker committee's mandate? Can they marshal up enough money to be able to salvage the teams? Because that's what we should be talking about.
Yes, it all boils down again to goodwill, okay? The caretaker committee has all the full mandate.
Do they have money?
They have the mandate. Yes, they have the money. They have the backing from the government.
Can they give the money to the clubs?
They can give to the clubs, but Bernard, you need to be sustainable. I can't be giving you money to buy food every day. I can't. So the clubs must find other ways. Whatever bit that they should be getting from government is only to add on to what they already have. So the question for me would be, how can they start off, earning their own money? And for me, this committee should set the basics, so that, because now they have what? They have 4 months left. And they will leave. They just need to set the basics. They cannot solve the entire problems of Kenyan football in 4 months or even in 1 year. They need to set the basics so that whoever comes...
They have a mandate of 6 months. So whether or not they can they can sort out the issues, they've got to do it within 6 months. There's supposed to be an election within 6 months as well. Do you think that will save the Kenyan football?
Yes or no?
Would you as Tobias Ochola, because you said leadership, I mean, do you think players then should go to manage football in this country?
I think it is not a must that former footballers should be heading the
federation.
The federation.
Yeah. Yes.
Because I might be taken there, or people vote me in, but I don't have the capacity. I played, yes, but I can't manage. So that is a possibility. So it is how you structure the people you have around you and the planning of what you want to do within the period you are going to be there. Because even in an institution, go to Tusker, there's a CEO running Tusker on behalf of the board. So all our clubs must get the structures right. You might find the executive, they are up there. They are running the affairs of the club. They are the managers running the daily rotas of the team. They also want to do recruitment. You get, it is never possible. It is never possible. Let Bernard and Tobias do recruitment. So if there's a mess, we are answerable. Let James and this other person do management. If there's a query, they are answerable. So you cannot be the executive. You do the operational wing. You do...
It's not possible.
Okay,
Tobias, I see your pain. I see your pain in explaining this and trying to get the teams to be self-sustaining. So let me save you the pain and ask you about the AFCON fixtures. What do you think? Which team are you supporting at the Africa Cup of Nations?